Hey guys, welcome to today's show. This is the Chicken Hawk on the show Chawk-N-Talk, and this is what we're going to be making today. So buckle up and get ready to make some pulled pork sandwiches or pulled pork nachos or pulled pork baked potatoes, whatever you want your pulled pork in. I'm going to show you how the Chicken Hawk does it. All right, buckle up and get ready. And so we're going to get things started. All right, first and foremost, here is the prize. Okay, let me go ahead and take it out of the grocery bag and let me show you this beauty. All right, this is my HEB pulled pork, or I'm sorry, pork shoulder butt. Okay, and what I want you to look at is I chose one that I felt like had good marbling throughout. Marbling is just the fat content mixed in there with the muscle tissue. And you can see those beautiful white strands of fat just going right through it, which is going to help this thing be nice and moist and tender. Oh, and it's going to taste so good. And I kind of give this the eye test. You know, when I look at it, I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to it. But when I'm just looking through the meats at the in the meat section at the grocery store, it just kind of has to pass the eye test for me. A considerable amount of marbling going on through there, nice and firm. Okay, it's a good feel. I honestly, you know, there's probably professionals out there that would make fun of me for the way I do it, but that's just, you know, that's just the chicken hawk way. Okay, and so today we're going to be seasoning this thing. All right, first and foremost, uh, gloves. I think that's kind of a necessary thing. And what it really does is just keeps your hands from getting too messy. And if you need to grab something, you can just remove the gloves and take care of it instead of having to go to the sink and wash your hands every single time, because that just gets on your nerves. All right, and it dries out your hands too. So I'm going to go ahead and put those on. All right, 1 and 2. Okay. On that note, I do try to keep one hand away from the meat and one hand that deals with the meat. Okay. And that just allows me to be able to touch seasonings and things without getting any of the bacteria from the pork all over the place, or even the pork juices, because it can get messy really fast. Okay. I've got my fillet knife here. I like it because it's a thin and it's a flexible blade, right? And I can use it if I need to. And the answer is no, I'm not going to be trimming any of the fat off of this. I like all the fat to be on it because, let's be honest, this is going to be in the smoker for a long time. Okay. And then I have my seasonings. Salt, necessary. Get it. Okay. Pick your brand. I don't care. Second, pepper. Get it. Third, garlic powder. All right. Necessary. Get it. And the fourth thing that I use, it may surprise some of you, maybe something different. On my briskets, I use lemon pepper, but on my pork, I like this stuff. I don't know really how you say it. I call it tahine. All right, some people call it tahine. I really don't know how to pronounce it, but I like it and it tastes good, and I'm going to put on there. Okay, and so it is, I don't know, 8 or 9 o'clock at night here the night before. I'm going to put the seasoning on, and then in the morning, I'm going to get up pretty early, and then you'll see me put it in. But for now, let's go ahead and season this sucker. All right, so first things first, I have prepared a pan that has some foil, and that's just, again, just a little extra protection there. A little foil, and then I'll put some plastic wrap on it. The plastic wrap's going to help seal everything in for the overnight stay of the meat. And so let's be honest, it's, you know, let's say it's 9. I'm probably going to get up about 3 and put it in by 4, okay, in the morning. And so we've got a solid 4, 5, 6, 7 hours of the seasoning sitting on the meat. Again, some professional may think I'm crazy. Just the way I like to do things, okay? It's worked out for me so far. All right, so I'm going to take the knife and let's see, what's my weight on this thing? About 11 pounds. And by the way, this this pork shoulder butt has a bone in it, okay? And so just FYI, if you're curious. Okay, and so I am just simply going to remove the wrapping. Now, I'm going to try to do my best to not get pork everywhere. All right, notice I kept the grocery bag. Okay, I just want to be careful with my handling here. All right, boom. Do that right on top of the plastic wrap. All right, turn that back over. We're going to feed that sucker right back into the plastic bag. And voila. And for now, I'm just going to set my knife in there with it just so I can put it on the counter and I'm not getting pork everywhere. Okay. I'll set that right over here. Okay, so now that I got out of the wrapper, you can see that I've got the side that has, it looks like maybe some skin and fat on it right here. Okay, and then the other side is my nice and meaty side right there. Okay, I'm going to start with this side, and I've already broken my golden rule. All right, and so that being said, I'm going to remove a glove. Okay, and so now this is my meat, and this is my seasonings. Okay, and let's try not to get them mixed up. All right, I like to start with my salt. And let's be honest here, there's no rhyme or reason, there's no measuring, we're just doing it. Okay, and so I'm going to season this thing until I feel like it's got a nice coat right on the top. All right, I like to be generous with my seasonings. Okay, pat that sucker in. I do like to try to get it on the side a little bit, and sometimes I'll put it into my glove like that and just rub it right on. Okay, do that on all of the sides, and it's okay if it gets on the plastic, right? Because we're going to be turning this thing, and it's going to be just fine. All right. Next, I go for the pepper. I got to be honest, I don't really put a ton of pepper on this thing, especially compared to the other ingredients, because I think the other ingredients kind of shine anyway, and the pepper is just a little extra for me. So I put it on there. Okay, maybe a little more on that side. Not really going to worry about the sides too much with my pepper. Okay, next I like to hit the garlic. I like some garlic. Garlic just adds so much flavor for me. I really enjoy it on a lot of things. Of course, some people don't like it because it gives you maybe a little bit of bad breath. Okay, but it does help with some antioxidants sometimes. All right, those little things that help your immune system fight things a bit. Okay, I'm not saying that pulled pork does that. I'm just saying a little bit of garlic's good for you. All right. Yeah, I like garlic. All right, and last but not least, the tahini goes right on there. Oh, it's got that beautiful orange color to it. You know, makes me think about the team I'm going to be rooting for tomorrow. Place where I went to school, good old University of Texas. You know, and it's just a fun time. You know, it's a fun time for football. And it's always fun when your team's winning. But regardless, if your team's your team, you should still be rooting for them. Now, the reason you're so generous with your seasoning is obviously some of them are going to come off. Okay? The other reason is you're not seasoning the inside of this thing. It's all going on the outside. And so the reason I like to put things in the fridge and let this thing kind of sit overnight is there's always the hope that the seasoning is getting into, it's seeping down in there. You know, when it cranks up the juices and, you know, the salt's going to bring out the water, okay, in the meat. I'm hoping that the seasoning kind of simmers down in there. And so be generous with it. Be generous with it. All right, a little extra pepper there. Excuse me, a little too much, you know what I'm saying? All right, hit the garlic. Hopefully you can see that, man, I'm getting some nice cover on here. Some people mix their seasonings beforehand. I haven't come up with an algorithm for my, or a ratio for my seasonings yet. Okay, I'm just doing the eye test again, kind of what I feel. All right, and my last seasoning here is my tahine. And some of you may be wondering what tahine is. I believe it's one of those, it sounds like it comes from Mexico. I think a lot of people put it on things like corn. We eat it with corn. I've seen some of my kids put it on things like mango or pineapple or something like that. It definitely has a citrus feel to it, and it definitely brings out those citrus flavors. Okay, so which I think matches with pork very well. All right, so here it is. I got my seasoning on there. I think it's good enough. Okay, again, you just saw me eyeball test it. Just do it to what I felt like was a good seasoning. A lot of this is going to crust over in the smoker. You're going to have this nice. I wouldn't really call it bark, but it's a nice crust that's just over the pork. It makes it really nice. You get kind of the crunchy pork, and then you get a little bit of the tenderness in the middle. It just makes for a wonderful sandwich or potato, whatever you're going to make with it. All right, some good old pulled pork nachos. Those are fantastic too. All right, I'm just simply going to wrap this thing up. Okay, and at this point, I'm going to remove the gloves. Okay, and I am going to wrap. I've already got, that's why I put the plastic wrap down first, and so that I can make sure that I get this thing taken care of. It just makes it easier. Move things out of the way. I am going to go ahead and put the foil over it too. Not that it does anything special. I just already have it ready to go. Keep my mess all together. And there it is, seasoned pork butt. All right, and now off to the smoker. Okay, we're here at the smoker. I got everything laid out that I'm going to need. I even got my my rack to put the meat on. And I'm going to kind of do things in an order here so I don't have to waste a lot of smoke, because I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's smoke coming out of my smoker already. I've got my temperature set. I've got a little bit of water in the pan, not much. I honestly really don't use it that often. Sometimes I do just to mix it up. Okay, I've got my wood chips. I'm using pecan today. I just like the taste of pecan. I think it's a good wood. Sometimes you use apple. I've never really experimented with other things like cherry. Not a huge fan of mesquite. I know some people are, oh, you got to have mesquite. I think that's more of a beef thing. But yeah, anyway, that's where I'm at with that. I'm using some smoking chips there, pecan. So what I'm going to do is usually I'll put all this stuff in, but like ahead of time. But today, I want you to see the process. I don't want to waste too much of my smoke. Okay, so I'm going to put the meat on. I'm going to open the door and put everything in real quick, and then close it right back up. I'm going to try to save this couple of pieces of foil here for later. All right. Take my plastic wrap off. And I am going to go meat on the rack. Now, I like to put that fatty side on the top, the side with the skin on it on the top, because I want that fat to move down into the meat. All right, another thing I like to use is a meat thermometer. And this thing is pretty awesome. Because my smoker does not come with one that's built in, I'm going to, we've purchased this one, and it just allows me to, stick this into the meat. I don't like to get right on top of the bone. All right, so find a place. Oh, there we go. All right, and we're just going to shove that thing in there, okay? And we will set this up on top of the smoker. And it just allows me to keep track of what's going on inside this thing without opening the pit a whole lot. I can kind of look at time, just swap by. Now, I do visual inspections too from time to time to make sure that the crust looks like I want it to. But it's not necessary for me to know if it's, ready just by opening it a whole bunch. So it does limit the amount of times I have to actually open and let smoke out. All right, here we go. Oh, by the way, close up. Boom. All right, and there we go. Now it's the waiting game. We just got to let this thing cook, and I'm going to do a whole bunch of other things and just watch it go. All right. It's about 8:45 in the morning. I'm doing one of my checks. Okay, I'm taking a temperature check. All right, it's reading about 141 on there. Okay, and I'm also going to add some more chips. I'm going to keep messing with that smoke, get a good smoky flavor in there. And yeah, we'll see. Technology. We'll get down here because it's not going to matter. Take my wood chips. I'm going to pour them right into the little dish. That was pretty amazing because usually I spill a whole lot more than that. All right, we are just going to put them right in here. I don't know if you can see this or not. And we'll turn it. I'm also going to do a visual check on this one. So I'm going to open it up. And we're going to bring it right in here. And yeah, you can see what's going on in there. That's what it's looking like so far. It is looking good. All right, here we are. And what I want you to notice is my temperature. And I hope you can see it. It says 172. It's been 170, 172, somewhere between there for a while. Okay. And this is where the meat kind of stalls out for a little bit and the temperature is really not rising. And honestly, I'm shooting for a temperature of about 205. And so that I know that I get this really tender, really pulled pork. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it. And what I like to use is this pink butcher paper. Now, some people, it'll say peach paper. Okay. I'm not all sure what you could use, but this is what I like to use. I know that a lot of people use foil, but I like the idea of this stuff. It's really good. In fact, it says on there it's good for low temperature smoking, right, or cooking. And that's what we're going to do with this. Okay. So I'm going to wrap it down. I've pretty much cleaned the tabletop as good as I'm going to get it. Yeah, I made this whole thing, so I know it doesn't look the best, but it's what I got and what I'm going to use. Okay, and so I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to stick it back in there and get this thing finished up here in just a few hours. All right, well, it's wrapped up. And again, we'll be waiting here for just a few more hours, and this thing should be ready to go. Looking for that 205 temperature. And my lips are already ready for that pulled pork. All right, guys, it is the moment of truth. We're sitting right there at that 205 mark that I was looking for on the temperature, and it's time to pull it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out, and then we're going to let it rest probably for about an hour, and then we're going to shred that thing up, and it is going to be fantastic. So here we go. Now to let it rest. All right, we're here in the final stages. I mean, lips are smacking, saliva, drool is building up because this thing smells fantastic. And we're going to open it up, see what it looks like, and then we're going to shred it. Peeling the peach paper back, or the pink butcher paper, whatever you call it. And here we go. Oh, look at that beautiful pork. All right, you can see the goodness everywhere in it. Trying not to get it everywhere. And before I touch anything, let me go ahead and glove up. Because I don't really want to get grease all over my fingers. All right. And we are going to kind of move it into the pan. I can already tell you that this thing is so tender. Like just moving it is going to be a problem. Good thing I came with an extra pan. And I want to move it right into there. All right, look at this beautiful thing. For the final touches, all I've got to do is take 2 forks. That's how I do it. Nothing special. 2 forks, and you just dig in and you just start pulling this thing apart. Oh, look at that beautiful color. Just look at it. Look how good that looks right there. And we're just gonna shred this thing right up, mixing all the fat and the muscle tissue together. All right, getting this thing all well ready for a nice potato. I think that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna put this on a baked potato that's cooking in the oven right now. All right, and we're just mixing this meat all together. It's gonna be so tasty. And when we get done, this is just going to be a big salad of meat and tender goodness, just cooked with love today for my family and a couple of friends that are coming over. I mean, just think of this. It's a Saturday in September. We got this nice pork that we're eating. We're about to watch the Texas Longhorns go battle it out on the field and just have a good time. And I hope you're doing something similar with your favorite sports team, if you have one, or just with family and friends, because this is what it's about. You know, we use food as a vehicle for a chance to get together, and we call that fellowship, and that's what fellowship's about, especially here. You know, food's a good thing for fellowship. All right, and the last thing, but certainly not least, we're gonna take this. Man, you get a little bit of that smoke. Those seasonings I was talking about that I put on there, and just the taste of the pork. All of it comes together. And man, that is just so good. Don't even need sauce. We're gonna have a good time tonight. All right, well, this is the Chicken Hawk. I am signing out. Blessings to you and your family, and I hope you have a good one. See you later.
This meat is the best meat I've ever had.